Everyone, this is Tamara with Epiphany Healing Arts and AutismCollective.Love. And I decided to record our live stream just a couple hours early instead of doing it live because my dogs are very, very peaceful right now. Right, Ari? Who just is laying down next to me. Sleep time, and that 5 o'clock time tends to be a very chaotic time for my house, and as we know, last week we had the chaos. So I figured since it was so peaceful right now, it might be a good time to just tune in to the kids in the Autism Collective and see what messages they had for us today. So I did that, and we're in the field right now. But let's take a couple deep breaths because maybe you want to connect with them as well. So if you want, close your eyes. I like this mudra, the Gian Mudra. So here, and placing them on your lap. They say it's to help to connect to your wisdom, the field of wisdom and the wisdom that exists within you. Let's take a few nice deep breaths. Just thinking everything's calm and peaceful in our safe little spaces, in our homes, wherever we are. We're safe and loved. All is well. So bringing in the kids, the Autism Collective, Jordan, Spencer, and the other kids that are these beautiful healers, these masters, amazing beings walking in human form. Thank you for being here. And if you're a sensitive person like I am and you're sensitive to energy, maybe you start to feel, and maybe you feel like a energy moving through your arms. Maybe you feel your heart soften, or just like a love in your heart. So take a moment and do what we call drop into the heart. So bring your attention as if you can see inside your heart, but not your physical heart, your energetic heart, your love, your place where love lives. And as you inhale, expand the heart to receive the light and the love, the prana, life force. And as you exhale, just let that heart rest and relax. Let your body release anything that it would like to. In my Patreon group starting Monday, we will be having Monday meditation at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So we're going to get me out of bed. We'll be doing 8 a.m., probably a 30-minute, maybe a little longer, guided meditation, just to start off our week in a really beautiful way, nice and balanced. Then Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., we'll have a gentle yoga practice, sunrise flow, nothing hard, something that we can all find something from to just get our body moving and the energy moving. And then, of course, Friday this will change to 8 a.m. And we'll have our Autism Collective then. And so the Patreon group is just $12 a month. So it's very inexpensive. Now this Autism Collective is free to everybody. The other two classes are part of the Patreon group. And then in a couple weeks, part of the Patreon group will also be doing a workshop in there on energetic protection advanced techniques. I've definitely found that our normal stuff that we learn in Reiki class and just general energetic protection techniques in the energy that we're living in right now does not work. And it's not because I don't believe that it works. I believe that it works, but then I'd get attacked. So I had to start coming up with some more resilient energy techniques. So I went in really deep and came out with 3 new techniques so that we'll go over those and learn them, practice them. Okay, so those are my announcements. I could go on because I got a lot of announcements, but the first beautiful, and if you see me looking over here, it's because I have my little digital notepad. I took a bunch of notes because Jordan comes through, and when she comes through, sometimes she just dumps a bunch of information, and it might not be at the time when I'm speaking, and I don't want to miss it, and I tend to receive the information and then forget it right after. So sorry, Michael, we can't talk right now, buddy. Okay. So also connect in with Jordan at the same time. Now, those of you that want to connect to the kids, instead of just trying to imagine them hi, I want you to just send out a hello. Hello. And let them decide if they want to connect with you or not. So everybody stays within their own sovereign being, their own free will. So there's no invading in anybody's energy. So if you've looked at the website and the way Jordan works is really interesting to you because they do work very differently. They're totally different personalities too. Just say a little hello, put a little tickle out there. And Jordan and all the others can choose to connect with you or not. Okay. So Jordan has told me that she wants to talk about love today. What she actually calls the recesses of love. So she was showing me the underneath, under here, under there, under here, under there, under all these layers. In many of us, there is a deep woundedness. Maybe that woundedness has to do with love. Yes, it does. And we sometimes, or almost all the time, may leave that wound unattended. We maybe don't have time to heal from certain situations. Divorce, relationship loss, people leaving the physical plane, passing away, our animals passing, all the things, right? All the things where we loved and then we were wounded. Whether that woundedness makes sense to anybody or not, doesn't matter. The wound that exists deep, deep, deep under there. And so when we leave it unattended, there can be a false perception of the love that we experience now. So we have this unattended wound. Maybe we go through a divorce and then we look for a new boyfriend. We get a new boyfriend and we feel love and we fall in love. But we still have this unhealed wound. She's saying that love that we experience in the new relationship may be a false perception. It may not actually be like a real love because this is unhealed. So what she says is what we experience with this new, maybe false love could be one of 2 things. One, a miracle teacher. Somebody coming into our life that leads us back to that original wound to tend to it. So maybe they won't accept certain behaviors that you have from the wounded space, and it becomes a volatile relationship. Maybe they repeat same patterns that caused the wound in the first place. Something this new false love does triggers you back to have to look at that wound, that old wound. So in essence, that person here is a miracle teacher. Even if it's a volatile, even if it's an abusive relationship. I hate to even say that, but it can be true. Even if that's an abusive relationship, they, at the soul level, could be leading you back to this wound to heal it for once and for all. Okay. Or the other two, the second option, it could be this other love, a destructive force, which enables you to walk around wounded without holding you accountable for your wound, without mirroring anything, without doing anything, lets you just keep on going. Like, well, it's your problem, you got the wound, but this is our relationship. So that's also false, because real love wants everybody to be their best self. And this making you complacent and not have to deal with your own crap isn't real love. That's why it's false. One example would be you're an alcoholic because you haven't dealt with this pain, and your new partner enables all of that. It's like, yeah, let's go party together, let's drink together. And you both do that stuff. Nobody's doing anything to help each other. So in essence, that's why the first one, even if they're mean, is the miracle teacher, whereas the other one is a destructive force. They don't help you, they don't encourage you, they don't catapult you back to the wound. They let you cover it up. They're the saboteur. Now, Jordan does say that both of them do allow you the opportunity to find healing, because sometimes, so the first one is a little more obvious. It catapults you back into your wound. The second one helps you cover it up. But there's still you in there that can be like, wait, what? And bring yourself back to the healing when you realize this second one is super destructive. Do I want that in my life? When you wake up. So both can allow you to find your healing. First one more obvious, the second through a pathway of darkness, like through a shadow way. In either case, the healing the original wound is possible. The first time around. So the first time you cover up the wound and do nothing, and you go into one of these false love scenarios, you could heal it right after that. But what she says, most people don't. Most people don't. They avoid and distract all the paths, all the ways that can lead you back to the healing. And then what happens is then, if once you've avoided, you've gotten this sort of lesson. I have to show you. Ari's sleeping. See how peaceful? Look at my baby. So cute. And look at baby number 2. So cute. This is why it's better to do it right now than at 5 o'clock. Anyways, let's see. So what she says is, once you've chosen that you're not going to deal with that wound again, no matter what these other loves are doing, you're now in what she calls a repetitive karmic cycle that can run through I was like, how many generations can that? She's like, unlimited, hundreds, thousands of generations. These karmic cycles can be lived out. I'm wounded. I pick a destructive choice instead. I'm not learning the lesson. Oh, and then round and round and round we go. So when you work with an energy healer, sometimes they'll pick up on these like, oh, is this a pattern? And it may be somebody else in your family's pattern that you are acting out and experiencing as well, because it can run through your physical DNA, but it can also run through your spiritual, she had a word for it, soul tapestry grid. So the soul, the energy that you are, I guess it looks like a grid to me too, that we carry from body to body, or experience to experience, or expression to expression, essence to essence. And it grows and evolves and grows and evolves, carries that to the wounds from the physical or the other experiences. I don't want to say that every wound happens within a physical body experience. I don't know. Jordan, do you know? She says it can happen in multiple expressions. Ari's snoring. She also says that the pattern is contagious within group energy fields. So think of it like this. When you were growing up, like, I'm trying to think of the exact words, like the friends that you keep kind of tell who you are. So when we get in a group energy and you're avoiding your stuff to deal with, and then you have certain behaviors that reflect that into the group, it kind of gives other people, permission to also avoid their stuff. So then together, everybody is sort of spreading this pattern of not doing anything to deal with this wound. So in that sense, it's kind of contagious. Just like when somebody in your group or the field that you're around starts to do their inner work, it can take a while. That's why a lot of people on their spiritual healing journey feel very, very alone, because they start to do their work. Now their energy field, their vibration has shifted. That's not so in alignment with the people that aren't doing their work. And then there becomes a problem, a dissonance, a disharmony there. But sometimes, though, if you keep doing your work here, somebody will poke their head up and think, what is she doing? Maybe I don't want to live down here either. And then they may ask questions. This is why it's important that we not cut people off if possible, that we just sort of keep boundaries. Maybe we cut them off, but like in our physically, but in our minds, we just sort of like, however, I'm open if, to assist if they also want to work on their stuff. So she said all of that stuff is very common today. So she wanted to do a group healing around this topic: unhealed wounds, the patterns that we perpetuate, the false love, all of that. So we'll just let Ari be our sound healing. Yep, nobody else is snoring. Everybody's super cute. Okay. So let me see what she wants to do. I also want to mention Spencer is here, and he said today he's not going to chime in with all this advice. He's holding the container, the space. All right, let's close our eyes, and I want to imagine all of us holding hands like we're having the most beautiful ceremonial healing circle. Inside the circle, she says to visualize all of the unhealed wounds of humanity, from the past, from the present, from the future, ones we know about, ones we don't. Imagine it's all there. And she shows me a golden rope connecting all of us in this field. So if you're watching now, well, everybody's going to watch recorded. So whenever you watch this, you're part of this field, holding this golden rope, and this golden rope represents our optimum vibration, both at the soul level and at the human level. She says it's an embodied frequency. It's a frequency that says our soul lives in our body. We are one. Which means all of our soul's greatest powers and energy and gifts are accessible even from our physical reality here. So feeling that gold rope, feeling the gold expand into the body, every cell, every bit of every cell that's smaller than the cell, and smaller and smaller and smaller, expanding it bigger and bigger and bigger, where there's nothing except for the existence of the golden field. Where you end and I begin is not detectable, it's all the golden field. And she asks us to move that golden field and cover like a blanket of gold over all of those wounds. She says, let them live in peace and healing. Let all of the wounds heal and be in peace and harmony. And all of the beings that those wounds belong to, let them be in peace and healing and also understanding. And she's making a field, like a torus field, so feel like a swirling grid, dome, oblong dome looking thing, swirling, she says, to the counter, to the clockwise direction. And then all those healed wounds, they fly back to their originator. So if the wound developed a family pattern, that wound, healed already, goes back to the original person who was wounded, freeing itself from the lineage in which it grew. And now the humans that hold those healed wounds, that golden healing, infuses through their whole entire physical body or their energy body or both. And as we maybe can say together the words, let it be so. Together, if you want to say out loud with me, let it be so. And so it is. It is healed for all. Amen. So because that was taking place in the past, present, and future, not every person that had the wound to be healed is like physically alive on earth. So that's why it went back to their energy body, wherever they exist, wherever they are, and or if they live physically in their physical body. And then removing it from the DNA lineage, the pattern, and then also this soul tapestry grid. It removed from there when it went back to the originator. So now these people / energy field, energy bodies, souls, get to experience what it's like to live with the beautifully healed wound. We want to keep visualizing that for ourselves and for them. Beautiful, Jordan. Thank you so much. If you have a moment, you want to send some thank you to Jordan for that beautiful ceremony. There was a couple things Spencer did have me write down. He's holding this field for us today, but also the big field of energy, because he's like, okay, of course we know there's a lot of chaotic energy mixed with like this freedom. Right now, as I'm recording this, is the Ottawa convoy, the Freedom Convoy going up in Canada. And I say it and my heart goes, whoa, because it's very exciting to see what's going to happen with that. And then in the field is excitement. There's love, and there's some resentment. There's resentments rising forth towards a lot of places. It's getting like little arrows thrown. Maybe you resent people that got the prick. Maybe you resent people that didn't get the prick. Maybe you resent media. Maybe you resent, there's all kinds. It just goes everywhere. Okay? Right, Lacey? Yeah, she's looking at me all cute. And then the other thing he wanted to point out is that we're in a timeline battle. Like, more battle. I'm exhausted. And that means that, well, the psychics could be all full of crap right now. Okay, don't get mad at me. At least the way I do it, and I try not to look at the future, but every once in a while it just shows up for me. I realize that I'm looking at a timeline. I'm looking at a potential reality. And I try to look at the one that is the most viable. Like, well, is this the timeline where like 90% in? Yes, okay. Sometimes it gets kind of watery though, like it could go this way or this way, depending on what people's actions are. And I guess you could call that a timeline battle. So there is still this, it could go this way or that way. Whatever it is, Spencer says, we're in for something, a big shift. And so if you want to, and so he says the best way is to visualize harmony and light. So if you want to take a moment with me and imagine the whole collective consciousness, the whole field of all of us, the whole world, all the people and anybody that the people affect. So maybe the animals, people and animals and plants and earth. And there's also other beings that are like outside of our visual field that are also involved in all of this. So we want to be in harmony with all of that, right? So if you want to imagine what harmony means to you, what harmony means to me, I mean, I grew up playing the piano. So I like to think of things on the keyboard. How about a perfect fifth? How about a beautiful C chord? Something in the major, a major key. Something that is not in dissonance, not rubbing against each other. It's not chopsticks on the piano. Harmonizing. A beautiful sound goes with this beautiful sound, and a voice comes in. Think of an orchestra, a symphony of sound that creates something that's magnificent. So creating something magnificent with these vibrations and frequencies. And those vibrations and frequencies are full of light. The most beautiful light you can imagine. As bright as white could be. Purple, pink, blue, green. Like you could do the rainbow, light, light, light. In harmony. Let's come together in harmony as the big field with the one thing we all have in common. the one thing that we are all made in His image, the image of God, which is light. There is light running through my cells and yours. That light is what unifies us. Okay, I don't think I have any. Let me see, do we have? Nope, I think that's it for today. Yeah, I feel like right now is a good time. I'll just close out and close your eyes and just let yourself bathe in some of the energy that we've been working with right now. If you want to work one-on-one with myself and one of the kids, you just go to AutismCollective.Love and you can get set up for an appointment, which includes sound healing and breath work, and then your beautiful session and all these. It's really beautiful. So hopefully that will be something, and you can choose if you want to work with Spencer, who is you've been introduced to both of them. They just have their own ways. Spencer or Jordan or the collective, or you can sign up for the collective and say whoever wants to come forth, and maybe it'll be Spencer or Jordan or another beautiful being or the whole group. So you have all those choices. All right, and I will voice for them. All right, have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we'll see you next week. However, in the morning. Well, yeah, the plan is in the morning. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, the love and light and divine in me sees and honors the love and the light and divine in you. Namaste. Now we got it. Bye.